All right, welcome everybody to the third round of the Western States Open. In this game, I was paired with the white pieces against FIDE Master Richard Kelson, who is rated 2200. Yeah, let's get into the game. So I played the move e4, and he played the move e5, which I was expecting before the game because I saw he had like one game in the database where he played e5. So I knew what I was kind of expecting here. He played knight f3, and then he played the Petrov with knight f6. And so I took on e5. This is the main line. d6, knight f3, and knight takes e4. If you're wondering why he played d6 first instead of knight e4, this is a pretty elementary mistake, knight takes e4, because of the move queen e2. And there's all sorts of complications that comes on the e-file because there's a potential pin of this knight to the king. So d6 is the main move, knight f3, now knight takes e4. And here there's many moves for white. There's d4, knight c3, queen e2, d3, all sorts of things. But here in this position, I decided to play a move that I had studied recently but is not at all very popular, and that is the move bishop to d3. And the idea of this is I'm getting my bishop out, of course. I'm attacking the knight, and this comes with tempo. So if the knight drops back to f6, I just castle, and I'm pretty happy here. I have two pieces out, and I've castled already. And if he plays the move knight c5, which is what he played in the game, now I play the seemingly counterintuitive move bishop e2. So I just drop back. But the idea is, even though I've wasted a move with this whole bishop d3 and bishop e2 maneuver, I'm going to get the move d4 with tempo. And if you look at this knight, it's kind of moved around a lot. It's gone to f6, e4, c5. I'm going to play d4. It's going to go here eventually. So I'm kind of getting compensated by the fact that this knight is going to be moving a lot. So he played the move d5, which is the right move. I played d4, knight e4, and now I simply just castled. And here I was very happy with my position. This is just a very clean, stable advantage for white. And white is essentially just playing for the move c4, trying to destabilize black's center and weaken this knight on e4, and just try and develop as rapidly as possible before black gets the chance to castle and then eventually create an attack. So he played bishop d6. Now I played the move c4, and the main move is c6 here in this position, according to the relatively small number of games that have happened. But in this position, he decided to play d takes c4 because he didn't want an isolated pawn in the center. So I asked him why he played this after the game, and he didn't like the fact that he would have an isolated pawn here, and I would just readily be able to play knight c3 and just get a lot of pressure on his center. So he played d takes c4. I took back with the bishop, of course. He castled, and despite having the isolated pawn here, one thing to know about this type of pawn structure is that white is doing super well if you manage to create an attack and just develop as actively as possible. So here I play the best move, rook e1, just attacking the knight. We get knight f6, and now I just play bishop g5, immediately pinning the knight to the queen. Important detail here, I didn't start with knight c3 here because he would be able to play the move h6, and I really, really wanted to put my bishop on g5 because this pin is super annoying for black. So I played bishop g5 first, h6, bishop h4, and now he played the move knight b d7. And now I'm already quite a bit better here. It's already plus 1.2 according to the engine, so I finished my development. I play knight c3. Now he plays knight b6, bishop b3. And here what he kind of concluded in this position, according to our post-game analysis, was that he was kind of forced to do something aggressive here. So he played the move g5. Because black can't really make any progress with this pin still existing. Like, you would really want to play the move rook e8 here. However, after rook e8, I can simply just take and then take on f6. and this is of course miserable for black with the king being so open. So after bishop b3, he plays the move g5, and here I thought for around 10 minutes here, and decided to sack. I played knight takes g5, and the reason why I decided to play it was because if I retreat my bishop back to g3, I just thought this was a little bit too passive, like for what the position demanded, because this would allow him to trade and then play rook e8. And what I thought here was that if black is able to cleanly get in this move rook e8, white should be black should be equalizing here. Admittedly, in this position it's not as good, apparently, because I have queen d3 and there's a lot of threats on the g6 square. But the idea in general is that black gets to swap a pair of pieces, and my attack will not nearly be as good enough after playing bishop g3. Okay, so after g5 I sack, takes, and now this pin essentially is what I'm arguing will be the death of white. So bishop g4, basically the only move, because if you play bishop f5 here, then I have queen f3, so this is pretty good. The bishop is attacked, it's forced to move, and then I'll win the knight on f6. So bishop g4, and now I play this move queen d3. Very important to note that bishop takes f6 doesn't work here, because after bishop takes d1, bishop takes d8, and bishop takes b3, I would take back, black takes the piece back, and all we've simply done is traded some more pieces, and now we're in an endgame where black has an extra piece for 2 pawns, and black will go on to win this. So after bishop g4, I played queen d3. The idea is to play queen g6 check, which would be, of course, completely winning for white, because then I would pick up the knight on f6. So he plays king g7, trying to prevent that. And this is basically the only move in my books, because if he plays something like king h8, then I've got bishop c2, setting up nearly unstoppable threats on the black king. And if something like, I mean, what else could black play here really, like bishop h5, trying to prevent queen g6, then I can just play like queen f5 or knight e4. A lot of moves here that win for white. So he plays king g7, and now I'm just doing extremely well here. It's like +3 here according to the engine. Here I play knight e4, setting up this threat on the knight on f6. And so he's kind of forced to play knight bd7. I actually thought here after knight e4 that he could play this move bishop e5. And I thought this was pretty cool because if I take, he takes my queen. And there's now actually a threat on the d4 pawn. But the engine refutes this. And I actually mentioned this to him in the post-game analysis. And he thought this was a pretty good move too. But the engine refutes this because apparently after bishop f6, and queen g3, I'm just winning the bishop. So that is just a very clean refutation of bishop e5. After knight e4, he instead of playing knight d7, which is the best move, defending the knight on f6 another time. But now the continuation goes knight takes d6, c takes d6, and queen g3. Because I kind of have to get my pieces into the attack somehow, and with this bishop on d6 being as good as it is, now my queen cannot go to g3. So I have to kind of chop off this bishop and then go queen g3. And now there's a bunch of threats here, namely the first one being bishop takes f6, because once I open up the line to the king, I'll be able to play h3 and this bishop will be pinned, so I'll just win it. So he played bishop f5, trying to sidestep this threat, and this is where I begin to go wrong. So I'm in a completely winning position here against a FIDE master. Like, you can't ask for anything else much better. This is where my thought process goes a little bit crazy, I guess. So the first move I considered in this position was bishop takes f6 check. And it is the best move, according to the computer. because it forces king takes f6, right? Because it's a double check. So king takes f6, and now I play the move h4, and this is threatening mate in 1. So queen g5, because the rook is controlling the e-file, queen g5 would be mate in 1. So rook g8. I saw this all in my head. Queen takes d6 check, king g7, and I thought that I wasn't getting anything here. I stopped calculating here and rejected the line. Now the problem is, white is totally winning here because of the move rook e7. And this is the only move that completely wins for white. The rest of the moves are equal. And the reason why rook e7 wins is because the attack on the f7 square is basically unstoppable. If black plays bishop g6 here, then I can take the knight on d7. And if bishop e6, then I just take the bishop because of the pin. And if something like rook f8 to defend, then apparently white is completely winning after just queen g3, king h8, and queen g5. And I'm getting in like this. So I didn't see the follow-up, rook e7, why it was completely winning, because I thought that if black plays something like rook f8 and just defends the f7 pawn, then I'm getting nothing. But apparently this is completely winning. Now, what else was I thinking about in this position? So after bishop takes f6, I thought for another like 5 minutes or so, and then I saw a crazy move. I actually want to invite you guys to try and find it. And it's what I played in the game. I just couldn't resist playing this move because it looked so cool. And in this position, I played the move rook e7. And this is the second best move according to the engine, besides bishop takes f6. And the reason why rook e7, the rook cannot be taken, is because now I play bishop takes f6 check, king f6, and now queen h4 check, and I win the queen on e7. The king cannot go here because of the bishop, and so I will win the queen. So rook e7 just, I mean, what a move. It just looks so cool to play during the game. Yeah, white is still doing very well, +3 here. And my idea of rook e7 was to just physically disconnect the queen from the knight. So on the next move, I wanted to play queen takes d6 and just like put an insane amount of pressure on this knight. And I thought surely at that point something will fall. So in this position, he played bishop g6, which I expected because you kind of have to stop these threats with the queen being on the same file as the king. So bishop g6. And here I was considering between two different moves. The first move I considered was rook a to e1, just simply doubling the rooks. And this is the best move in the position. And white maintains a +3 advantage, and if I played this move, I probably would have gone on to win the game. But then I saw the move queen takes d6. Queen takes d6, right? And this looks like such a good move, because now I'm threatening to play rook takes d7. I thought it's just over, and I'm gonna win the game. I thought he would resign after queen takes d6, because I didn't really see a response. Queen b6, I play rook takes d7, and there's nothing. And then out of nowhere, he played the move knight e4. And then I quickly realized I messed up. Now, fortunately, I'm not losing here. It's equal. But after he played knight e4, I just realized I'd thrown it all away. I messed it up, and I was not going to be able to win anymore from this. So I played, and the problem is, I'm going to be losing this bishop on g5, and this bishop on g5 is really the only thing that is holding my attack together. Like in the opening, it had the pin on the knight on f6, and now it's the only thing that can attack the king's weak dark squares. So after knight e4, all the tactics work out for black. I can't play rook takes e4 because of queen takes g5. Rook takes d7. There's still queen takes g5. And I didn't really want to trade queens here because going into an endgame when you're down a piece for a couple pawns or for 3 pawns is it didn't really feel like such a good idea. So I played the move queen d5, and now he just played knight df6, and now the only move apparently according to the engine is queen takes d8. Rook f takes d8 and then bishop f4. And the engine argues that it's zeros here, so it's completely equal, because apparently my rook is active on the seventh rank. Instead of that, I played the move bishop takes f6. I thought it was forced because my idea was to play queen e5 because I really didn't want to trade queens. But if I play queen e5 now, then he can just take my bishop first and then take on e7. So I took the knight first and then played queen e5, and out of a miracle, I was so shocked when this happened. He played rook e8, which is the best move, just trying to simplify rooks, and go into an endgame where he has a knight for 3 pawns. He played rook e8 and offered a draw. And for a second I thought that he blundered or something because normally higher rated players offer a draw in a position where they realize they made a mistake and they're worse. But yeah, he offered a draw and I took the draw very, very readily, I might add, because I knew I was worse here. But for some reason he didn't play on. I still don't know why. And I asked him after the game, and he said, well, you have 3 pawns for the knight, so it's not going to be very easy. But I thought I was just going to lose the game after rook e8 because this pawn on d4 is so weak, and I don't have any. Well, I have a passed h pawn, but it can't readily go up the board with all of these pieces. And so yeah, somehow I managed to draw this game after completely messing up the attack. And yeah, we have 3 draws now. So that puts us at 1.5 out of 3. So I've drawn 3 2200 level players. Admittedly, I have winning positions in every one of these games. So not the desired result, of course, but still not terrible. Gaining a decent amount of rating. And yeah, I'll see you in the next recap for the 4th round.